My name is Matthew Glazier. I'm part of Team WhatAcca, and we are bringing you this video to look ahead to game week 4 in the Premier League. 10 matches, lots to talk about, so let's dive straight into the action and talk about each game, a prediction for each game, so you can go ahead and place a bet and head over to WhatAcca.com to make sure that you can read this write-up in all its glory, look at the latest accumulator tips and check out all the content that's on there, and it's all completely free. Sign up for the email newsletter, get involved, you'll absolutely love it, we promise you. Right, so let's kick things off then. We've got the Saturday lunchtime game. It's a London derby at Selhurst Park, and we've got Crystal Palace facing a Tottenham Hotspur team who are boasting a 100% record, and guess what? We think that 100% record is going to continue. Harry Kane is back in the groove. Son Heung-min has never gone away, really. He's looked red hot from the beginning. The Tottenham defence isn't conceding any goals, and you can't say that about Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace team. They began the season with a 3-0 defeat at Chelsea, had a goalless draw against Brentford, and then a bit of a spirited 2-2 draw at West Ham, but they've conceded 5 goals, and Tottenham haven't conceded any. So we just think keep it simple with game number 1 and go for Tottenham Hotspur as a single, or you could put it in your accumulator, and we might even find at WhatAcca.com we have done something similar and included Tottenham Hotspur as one of our lunchtime picks. Let's look a little bit later that afternoon at game week 2, and my list tells me that it's Arsenal versus Norwich City. Can Arsenal get that eagerly awaited first win? They didn't manage it before the international break. In fact, they didn't come remotely close to winning, and they didn't come that close to scoring a goal. In fact, they haven't scored a goal yet. Emile Smith-Rowe's really good, and so is Bukayo Saka, and Kieran Tierney hasn't let anybody down, but there is a reason why Mikel Arteta is favourite on the sack race market. There's a Arsenal look in disarray, and they look uncertain favourites for this game. We do think they're going to beat Norwich, but we wouldn't put our house on it, and we probably wouldn't even put any money on to win. We think the best prediction could be Arsenal to win and both teams to score. Yes, I think Norwich are a pretty decent attacking team, even if they're fairly porous at the back. So I think Arsenal and both teams to score could be the. So we could look at a high scoring game at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. Game number 3, Brentford Brighton. We're not expecting too many goals in this one. That's mainly because Brentford are fairly safety first in their approach. They did beat Arsenal 2-0, but they kind of let Arsenal have a lot of the ball and then used the ball a lot better to greater effect. They then had a goalless draw at Selhurst Park, and another draw was landed at Villa Park. They're good at keeping things tight. We expect Brighton to do something similar against them. Brighton have had 2 wins on the board already. They lost at home to Everton before the international break. They don't have a 20-goal-a-season striker still at the club, and so I think we can go for the under 2.5 goals pick with a relative amount of confidence. Game number 4, Leicester City against Manchester City, the champions. Can they make it 3 wins on the bounce at the King Power Stadium? We think yes, but we also think it's worth combining Manchester City with over 3.5 goals. The reason for this is because City are full of goals, as they demonstrated when they scored 5 goals against Norwich, 5 goals against Arsenal. All right, they drew a blank at Tottenham, but let's forget about that. And Leicester, well, they've definitely got goals in them as well, but they also had a defensive shocker at West Ham where they lost 4-1. They looked pretty mediocre before Jose Perez was sent off, and they looked even worse after that. So we just think Manchester City could run in a few goals here. Leicester might get 1 or 2 as a consolation. We're looking at a high-scoring game, but we're looking at City to win over 3.5 goals. Now, what's the WhatAcca view when it comes to Manchester United against Newcastle United? I must admit, I'm not really sold on Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United. I don't think it really gives the Red Devils an increased chance of winning the Premier League. I don't think they had much of a chance in the first place. I don't think they've got much of a chance now. I think it'll all be very emotional and sentimental, and Cristiano will obviously milk it for all it's worth, but maybe he won't even start this game. We're not sure, obviously. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has lots of attacking options at his disposal. We do think Manchester United are a good bet to win this game. However, you don't need a team of monkeys working around the clock to tell you that. but we're going to go for Manchester United to win. Both teams to score no. We're not sold on Newcastle scoring a goal at Old Trafford, so let's go for the bigger odds and that combined option, whether it's Ronaldo or somebody else that gets the goals, but we think that's probably the way forward. Next match, Southampton against West Ham. I think this one could be fairly close. I don't think West Ham were particularly good against Crystal Palace. I spoke with a West Ham fan who went to that game, and he said Palace finished the second half much stronger than the Hammers. So I know that they've got Mikel Antonio on their side, but we are going to go for Southampton off scratch on the Asian handicap bet, which means you get your money back if the Saints draw the game with West Ham. And will win at the odds if Ralph Hasenhüttl's side record their first 3-point haul of the season. There are reasons to be optimistic where Southampton are concerned, despite losing Danny Ings and Yannick Vestergaard. They have Adam Armstrong looking lively up front with Che Adams. They got a draw against Manchester United. They've got James Ward-Prowse, who has that excellent set-piece delivery. And Hasenhüttl hasn't stopped being a good coach. So we'll take them and maybe they'll get that first win on the board, but we have that insurance of the money back. Watford versus Wolves. We feel quite strongly that Wolves might win this game, and the reasons for that is they're just because they've played really well in 3 matches. Do not let the 1-0 losing scorelines deceive you into thinking that Wolves are a poor relegation threatened side. Well, at least they're not relegation threatened yet. However, if they continue to be so profligate in front of goal, that might be an eventuality. And Bruno Lager will want them to start finding the net with aplomb. This is the game where it might all start to happen for the Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're thinking Adama Traore is going to get in and behind. We're thinking Raul Jimenez could open his account. We also are not sold on Watford one bit, despite them beating Villa in their opening match. And they've gone on to lose 2 matches consequently. They're a bit of a yo-yo club, Watford, and we think Wolves have the extra quality to come good in this game and to get 3 points on the board at long last. Chelsea versus Aston Villa is the Saturday tea time game. Big Romelu Lukaku looks ready to recover from a thigh injury to take his place and make his second home debut for Chelsea after recently returning to the club. We're not sold on Aston Villa's defence at the moment. We're not really sold on Aston Villa as a team without Grealish right now. We just think that Chelsea could win this by a comfortable margin, and that is why our WhatAcca.com prediction is Chelsea -1, which means that we need Chelsea to win by 2 goals or more in order to land this bet. Thomas Tuchel's side will not want to rest easy with a 1-goal lead. They beat Crystal Palace in their opener 3-0. They won 2-0 at Arsenal. A 2-0 victory would do us very nicely for this bet, and we just think defensively they look rock solid. Rudiger, Christensen have been excellent so far. We're not expecting that situation to change. Chelsea -1. On to Sunday's game at Ellen Road. Full house to watch Leeds United versus Liverpool. Brings back memories of a Tony Yeboah like fizz banger from the outside of the area. That was a long time ago, so younger viewers may not remember it. But it should be a cracking game. We're looking at both teams to score yes as our WhatAcca.com prediction. Leeds are attack-minded in any fixture, as they showed at Old Trafford when losing 5-1 in the opening game of the season. They've gone on to draw 2-2 with Everton, draw 1-1 with Burnley. So they found the net in all of their matches. We think they can find the net against a Liverpool team who are usually bankers to score at least 1 goal in any match, as they did against Chelsea in their previous 2 matches. We're not sold on the Liverpool away win here, especially at the odds. We just think that Leeds can get at Liverpool and make it a difficult occasion for the Reds, especially after the international break. So, both teams to score yes. And our final WhatAcca.com pick for the Premier League Game Week 4 is Everton, and both teams to score no against Burnley on Monday night. The reason why we're going for this is because Rafael Benitez has got the Everton team playing really good football, both from an attacking and a defensive point of view. We're not sold on the Burnley attack one jot. They've really made hard work of scoring goals so far. They've only notched 2 in 3 matches. And we think Everton can nullify Burnley as they did against Brighton before the international break. So that's our final pick, Everton, and both teams to score no. Those are our 10 predictions for game week 4. It's going to be a really exciting game week. We've also got lots of ACCA tips coming your way this weekend. So head over to whatacca.com and check out the latest predictions and tips. If you want to read about those predictions that I've just told you about, there's a full write-up on the site. So head over and enjoy all that there is. And make sure you sign up for that email newsletter so that you are the first to hear about the latest tips before the price reduces, which it does a lot of the time. Take care, guys, and I'll be back next week for more Premier League predictions.